Hi, Cheryl here today, and I am here to show you how to make these awesome fingerless gloves on the Rainbow Loom. These gloves are made of yarn and Rainbow Loom bands, and they're quite comfy. They're not all stiff feeling or rubbery feeling because the yarn makes them soft, and they're actually quite warm. And I'm going to show you how to make these today. So get ready. Okay, this bracelet is done on the Rainbow Loom with the middle bar out. The front bar is opening to the right. The back bar is opening to the left. You're going to need a spool of yarn. And you're going to need your Rainbow Loom bands and your upgrade hook. You're going to start. I'm going to take off my fingerless glove first so I can work a little better here. Just give me a sec. You're going to start by taking your yarn, wrapping it over here. This piece is on top. You're going to reach through the middle with 2 fingers, grab the top band, grab the top yarn, and hold the bottom piece and pull it. That'll give you your loop. Put that on the third piece in. Hold on to the top piece and pull it gently until it's snugly on there. Take your end, drop it through. Then you're going to take this and you're going to wrap it around your pegs. You're going down 7 pegs. This is your first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then you're going over to the other side and going down 7. Don't do this too tight or you won't be able to pull them over when you need to. So make sure to keep this loose enough. I want you to have it down on the end. Take it over to the other side and just hang it over. And then we're going to set it back down and you're going to get whatever color band you want to use next. You're going to start putting your bands down. I'm going to start with, I think, the pink. And when you put your bands on, you're going to twist them every time. And you're not just doing this for your first row, you're doing this for every row. And you can see I'm overlapping them. So whatever row you stop on, that's the row you start. Whatever peg you stop on, that's the peg you're starting on. Oh, and I did not push down my white, so I'm going to do that a little bit here because my bands are getting caught on it. There we go. And I'm just going to go completely around in a circle. Now you're ready to pull over the yarn. You notice I'm holding this piece down. And I'm just going to gently pull these up and over so I'm not tugging on them too hard. Some of them might be a little tight. And if they end up being tight, you can pull them, wiggle them out a little bit before you pull them up and over. As you can see, I'm pulling this along with me because that's holding down this bottom piece. I'm pulling it up and over, back into the middle here. And you can push it down as you go or push it down all at the end. Now I'm going to go around to the other side. And again, I'm going to hold this piece. You can hold it however it's comfortable for you to hold it. I just kind of twist it around my fingers. And pull this side up and over. Now this one, if you pull it, you can pull it and get it out tight too much. If that happens, this is what you're holding on to. You just gently pull it back in place. And you can put it up and over. And then push down this side. And you're ready for your next row. So your next row is going to be yarn. And you're twisting it up and around just like you did before. Around all of the pegs, going up and around in a circle. Oh, didn't get quite around that one. Another trick what you can do rather than holding it in place is when you get this last one on, I'm going to hold it there just for a minute, is the last one or two you can pull up and over so that they're held in place, and then start going up and around. Then you don't have to worry about holding on to that yarn. It's already held in place. Push down this side, go to your other side, pull all of it up and over. I'm pulling all of the rainbow loom bands up and over the yarn. I'm going to make sure my yarn is at the end here. And these two are already pulled over because they're the ones that I went and pulled over at the beginning. Now I'm ready for my rainbow loom bands again. And I got to remember, always remember when you put them on, you're twisting them. So you're alternating between yarn, one row of yarn, one row of bands, one row of yarn, one row of bands as you go. And you're going to keep that pattern all the way through. Okay, so now you're going to pull this row up and over, all the way up and around. If this ends up tight, just wiggle it, pull it up and over. Which I sometimes have to do. Sometimes it's a little tight. Which is fine as long as it's not too tight. Push everything down. Now you're ready for your row of yarn again. And I'm just going to keep going this way. If I want to switch colors, I can just switch colors on my rainbow loom yarn. Rainbow loom bands, excuse me. That's why I use a base color of white with my yarn. You can use any color you want for your yarn, but that's why I use the white, because I want my rainbow loom band colors to stand out. And I find they stand out the best with white. You can also use black. They would stand out nicely with black. And again, I'm going to go to this side and I'm going to pull over the first couple, just like I showed you, just to hold them in place. You could also go down and do this whole side first, but that's kind of doing it backwards and it's a little awkward. That's why I do it this way. Always make sure that this yarn is laying to the middle here, so it don't get in the middle of your work. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do several rows of this, since you should have the idea of what you're doing by now, and I'll be back after I've done enough to show you what you need to do next. Okay, once you have 15 rows on your loom, and I'm counting the rows by doing the rainbow loom bands. That's all I'm counting. I'm not counting the yarn. So 15 rows of rainbow loom bands. You are ready to do the row for the thumb hole. And in order to do that, you are just simply going to skip a band. So let me get my bands out here. And I'm doing green and blue now. So I'm going to start out with my green. And I'm going to skip one. And that's going to be my thumb hole. And that's all there is to it. So after I did 15 rows of bands, I skip one and I've got my thumb hole. And then I'm going to continue on and do my rows until I'm finished. So after you do your thumb hole, you are going to do 5 more rows and then you'll be ready to finish it off. So that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to come back after I've done my 5 rows and show you how to take this off of the loom. My last row is going to be my yarn row. And then I'm going to take it off. I did the thumb hole, and then I did 5 rows of rainbow loom bands. And now I'm going to finish it off by doing a row of yarn. And then I'm going to pull the bands over this. And then I'm going to show you how to take this off of the loom. And then it will be done. I'm going to put this row of yarn on. I'm going to pull over my end one to hold it in place. I'm going to push all this down. And I'm going to go back to my beginning. I want to make sure I'm at right at the beginning when I do this to take them off. And my end is where the yarn is coming off. You want to make sure you're starting at the beginning to take this off the loom. And you're going to take your first hoop off. And your second hoop off. And you're going to pull your first hoop over your second hoop. And you're just going to go down the row like that. And keep pulling them over. Zoom in a little bit so you can see a little closer what I'm doing here. Go to the next one. Take it off. Pull it over. Then you're ready to turn and do the other side. So you're going to turn the loom. And you're just going to go down the other side doing the same thing. Start with your first one. Take it off. Lift it over. And just go down doing the exact same thing. Pull your last one through, pull it out of the loom, and now you're ready to go grab your scissors. Okay, when you cut your yarn, make sure that you're leaving a little bit of a length. Take your hook and wrap it around and pull it through your hoop one more time. And pull it tight. And this is going to be the top part of your glove. So pull it nice and tight so it stays tight. And then cut this so it's got a little bit of a length. And this is just going to tuck into your glove. You're not going to want to cut that any shorter. And then your glove is ready to wear. The other end, the same thing. You're going to cut this a little shorter, and then it just gets tucked in. And there you have it, your fingerless glove. Base part of this done. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to work on the little belt that goes around it. And this is a twisted dragon scale bracelet that I used with and I put a button on the end of it for buttoning it. And I'm going to show you how I made this. So I'm going to start with my button. And I'm going to put a band through the middle of my button. I'm going to wiggle this through. And hopefully it won't be too hard to do. If these bands might be too thick for it, I might have to get a thinner band. Yeah, they might be. Use one of my blue bands. There we go. Okay, and this is going to be my starter piece on my loom. This is going to go 2 pegs in. On my loom here. And then I'm going to, every time I put a band on, it's going to be twisted. My first one is going to get twisted twice. But from here on out, I'll only be twisting them one time. I'm pulling it up and over to the back. And all these are going to get twisted one time from here on out. And this is a twisted dragon scale bracelet. So make sure it's twisted one time when you put it on. Pull everything up and over into the back. Put the middle one on. Up and over to the back. So I'm just shifting from the two outside ones to the one inside one. Making sure to twist it every time. And when you're putting your outside one on, you're doing pulling all the way across. When you get to your inside, all you're doing is pulling over the two inside ones. We're back to the outside. Pull them all up over. If you lose your place and you're not sure which one you're on, see how it's all pink all the way across? That way I know that I just did the outside row. If I were to have just done the inside row, I would see, I'm going to show you what it looks like. I would see blue on the outside, the pegs here. So if it's a solid color all the way across, you'll know you just finished the outside row. And you're ready to do the inside. You want this to be big enough to go around your wrist with a little bit of extra, so it'll wrap around a little bit more. All right, so when you have it long enough to go around your wrist and button and have a little bit of extra, you're ready to take it off. You're going to do that by moving the two outer pegs in and then pulling the bottom loop over the top loop. And then you're going to move them to the same peg. And then you're going to clip them. And then they're ready to come off. Then you have your belt for around the center. And you just button it by finding a place where the button will push through. And then you have your button. And you are ready to wear your sleeveless glove. So if you have any questions about this tutorial, let me know. Please check back and check my other tutorials. I have other tutorials with yarn and rainbow loom bands. I have a fluffy scarf that you can make out of yarn and rainbow loom bands. I am also the creator of the dragon scale, so I have tutorials with that. I have a tutorial that shows you how to make it on the monster tail loom. So check out my other tutorials. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.